Hey, what up, though? It's your man Dale, back with another episode here on location. I'm over here in Boston Edison. I mean, it's nice over here, like Boston Edison. You know, it's like a place in Detroit, a neighborhood in Detroit. Henry Ford, he had a house over here. Barry Gordy, like, remember that the movie, Michael Jackson movie? He was like, baby, I got was dancing in the pool house. That's like this area right here, you know. So let me show y'all how it look. That's another look for y'all. I'm about to get ready to get back in the car. I talk about business funding. The reason I talk about it is because, number one, it's the cheapest money that you can get. When you think of as far as like cash flow and you looking at a person as opposed to a business, which one do you think would make more money? The person or a business? Most people would think the business makes more money because they have systems in place and they have other people, you know, making money for the person who owns the business. So you would think the business makes the most money. Banks look at it the same way. So they're like, okay, we know that if we give Sadell a personal credit card, he's only going to need one TV. He's probably going to need like one laptop. You know, he's going to need one of everything because it's just him, you know, and like his family could share like the TV and like all that type of stuff. But when you got a business, you have employees. So you don't need one MacBook. You need like 10 MacBooks before your employees. Then you need like multiple like monitors for your office. You need money to furnish your office. We'll give you the money right now. We know that after 12 months, you're going to be making money. So we'll give you like that long interest free. That's how business credit works. So one of the keys that I believe is a good way, guaranteeing that you win. I like real estate. If a person understands how to invest, they'll see that a person who understands how to invest never uses their own personal money. So you don't need to use their own money to invest, because if the investment is good enough, there are other people who will lend you money to take advantage of that thing, because they're like, if you default, all we're going to do is take this opportunity that you found and we're getting a good deal in it. So, but if you know a strategy and you find a deal, there's no shortage of people that are willing to give you the money. One of the things that I believe the key is, I'm not giving financial advice or anything because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy, you know, that you're just looking at, you know, wherever you're seeing this, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever. You know, I'm just some guy like talking or whatever. But the goal is borrow other people's money at a certain percentage, right? I'm gonna give you an example. Use a business credit card. You purchase a house. There's areas in Detroit you can buy like for a little bit of money. And these little bit of money houses, you can just put that like right on your credit card. You're paying like $650 a month because it's 0% interest. The tenant is paying $1,200 a month. So you got $550 coming in every single month. You know, and each of those $650 payments goes towards buying the principal down. The debt on these business credit card, there's a time attached to it. As soon as you get the money, the clock is ticking. So you pretty much like spot your move before you get the credit card. Then you get the credit card and then you take advantage of the opportunity. And then there's something called a debt service income ratio loan, DSCR. You can refinance out of that credit card debt. The house has to appraise for more than what you paid for. There's a formula, we call it the Mayo formula, maximum allowable offer. The first number is 70%. So you can afford to pay no more than 70%. So if somebody could take their house for $300,000 and sell it for $300,000 on a market, you come along, you be like, look, I give you $210 cash. That's 70% of 300. So the $210 cash. And if they go for it, there'll be people out there that's willing to give you money on that. That's like $90,000 just sitting there. And there are certain techniques that you can employ to be able to find these type of deals. And then there's no shortage of money. All you have to do is get your credit together. You know, once you got your credit together, it's no like some simple rules or whatever to be able to attain as much business funding as you can. Because the more business funding that you can obtain, which means that'll be that much more cash flow that you can buy. The more cash you have, the more that you can take advantage of these things, because you just kind of like enrich yourself through other people's money. That's how this whole country is set up. This is like the stuff that we were never taught. Self-education to make you a fortune. Formal education just keeps you enough to be able to earn a living. You make a living from 9 to 5. You make a life from 5 to 9. The stuff that you do from 5 to 9 determines where you end up in life. For most people, as soon as they get off work, they go home, kick off their shoes, probably hop in the recliner, sit back with a beer in their hand and watch some TV. Okay, nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do that from time to time and time again, but if that's all you do, there's no, trying to advance or, thinking about the different things that you could do to bring what you see in your head to life. Everything that you see was created twice. It started first in somebody's mind. So you have to see it before people can see it. Everything that you see, it all came from the same source. This book is saying the stuff that God used to create, like everything and unexhaustible substance, like there's still more out here. So, and he created us in his image so we can use the same stuff that he used to create the world, to create our world. That's why they say vision boards is like powerful. You need to have vision boards because you need to see it, and you couple it with gratefulness, because we're so spoiled. Even me, like I'm not saying I'm better than nobody because I'm spoiled too. We have all of this abundance around us and we don't see it as abundance. We focus on the stuff that we don't have instead of looking at what we do. You may think something is going to go some way and that you don't want it to go, and then you look back like 10 years and you be like, okay, I'm glad it went the way that it did, because if it had went the other way, then this would have happened. But so all things work for the good, for those who love the Lord. The things that you see in your mind, you actually can have those things. Think about how terrible God would have to be to allow you to see something in your mind that you couldn't have. Because remember, everything is created by him. We own nothing. We're just passing through this place. I'm preaching to myself too. If there's a fear that you have and you have to overcome that fear in order to bring out what your purpose is, and God is like, okay, it's time. It's going to be like a boxing match. You're in the ring, you fighting against fear. Fear looking like Tyson, looking at you with those intimidating eyes with his guards up, and you like trying to run around, and God's watching it. He knows that you can beat Mike Tyson, but you don't believe that you can beat him. You got to face your fear. And if you dancing around the ring for too long, what he'll do is he'll let that thing that you fear get you in the corner and be beating you up, and you got to fight back or get pummeled. And this fight is for your dream. And God wants you to become the person that you need to be to fulfill the purpose for you were sent to this earth. God still believes in you. He still is like, okay, you're going to get it right eventually. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to keep believing it, because he knows that thing that you fear that's keeping you held where you are. He knows that you're bigger than that. He knows that Mike Tyson, he knows that that's that Goliath. You're bigger than those. You can conquer both of those. He just has to get you to believe that. I'm speaking to myself too, because it's like something that I've been avoiding for the past 7 years. It cost me over $1 million, but I'm like, I just figured out a way to make money somewhere else. Jay, I was talking to him. He was like, man, you right where you supposed to be. He was like, look at your life. He was like, think about it. He was like, you got this going on, you got this going on, you got this going on. And then I started looking at it. I'm like, damn, you right. And he was like, but you focused on this. I'm like, damn, that was the first sin. Satan got the man to focus on lack. Your eyes was taken off of all the plenty that you had around and focus on the one thing that you couldn't get. There's some things that happened to me to where I'm like, I know it had to be God, because I remember during that thing that we had back in 2020, everybody was on lockdown and everything. That was probably like one of the most scariest times of my life. When you're not involved at a certain level, those type of things don't really affect you. But back in 2007, 2008, the most fearful were the people who had the most to lose, because they like, man, damn, I'm doing this right here, and if this happens, then I'm gonna lose this, or I'm gonna do this. And man, in 2007, 2008, it was people jumping off of buildings, committing suicide because they were so much in debt and they had no way of getting out of it. At that same exact time, that was me falling on my knees, thanking God, like, thank you so much, because everything broke, which allowed for people that have been preparing for the opportunity this whole time, but couldn't get in because the prices were so high. This allowed them to jump in on it, because I was trying to get housed, man. We was doing some crazy stuff, but everybody was doing crazy stuff back then. Like, I knew that, man, I ain't about to get all off into it, but it was some crazy stuff happening. And these houses was selling for like $100,000, and the mortgage payment was going to be like $700, and they could only rent the house out for $800. People was doing this, so they was taking $100 a month in cash flow, but they got $100,000 mortgage and they got $15,000 in cash. That's what people was doing. I was in line for that, and I was trying to get it because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to get it. It ain't work out like that. And remember, like how I said, sometimes you look back and you be like, man, I'm glad it didn't work out like that, because yeah, I'd have got jammed up messing around with that. So sometimes, you just thank God for like how everything is going, even though it may seem like it's not going the way that you expect it to go. If you woke up, that's a gift. If you actually can breathe and it doesn't hurt when you breathe, that's a gift. If you can walk around and it doesn't hurt, even if it does hurt a little bit, it's not unbearable to where you're just like, I'm gonna just rather just sit down. That's a blessing. If you open your eyes and you look around, that's a blessing. If you can stand up on your legs and your legs actually support you, that's a blessing. We look at stuff that we don't have. It's like, have you ever given your kids something and they were ungrateful for it? You pretty much like took time to, pick it out, and you couldn't wait to see their face once they got it and everything. And they look at it and they just like, oh man, this crap, totally like don't even appreciate it. The next time when you go into the store, you're gonna be like, man, I ain't about to get that kid nothing. But if you were to get that kid something and they were like, oh my God, thank you so much, Mom. Oh, I love, and they express all this gratitude. Next time you probably be like, oh man, if they was happy about that, that wasn't even nothing. Let me give them something. So we have to be thankful for the stuff that we already have, because that's how we get even more and even bigger stuff. Not that it's about getting more, but it's about getting more so you can give more. It's not about loving money and using people. It's about using the money to love the people. It's like you say one thing and the inverse has to be true too, because it's two sides of every coin. Your circle, people that you hang around with, they can change your life because they have you looking at things a little bit differently. That's why I say iron sharpens iron. So you got to be around people like that. I can't be around too many broke people. If you choose to remain broke, then it's like at least you won't be able to say, man, you ain't tell me, you could become a part, of this journey. If that sounds good to y'all, click the button, subscribe, because I plan on doing a lot more of these. I want to see people grow, because I know that the information that I'm giving it's going to help somebody, and it's not mine to be like a hoarder of the information. I got to give it out. I'll receive it freely. I give it out freely. Yeah, it took me, I had to actually go search for it, but like I'll give it out. Sometimes it takes a lot of time to do these videos. I'm not always the most consistent with doing the videos or whatever, but I want to help y'all out, because that's how I receive more, and then when I receive more, then I can give more. So it's kind of like a beautiful cycle. I appreciate y'all for letting me come into your homes or wherever, and see you in the next video. All right, y'all.